You already know what time it is, man. It's your boy, Grown Man Business TV. You feel what I'm saying? Now listen, man. You could tap in or you could tap out, but you know my slogan. You know what I suggest, and I suggest you tap in. So let's get right into it. Now you already know that time and energy are the highest forms of currency. I know they got y'all here chasing the bag, chasing that money, chasing that paper, stacking that cheese, that cheddar, and that mozzarella. But always keep it in the front of your mental Rolodex. That time and energy are the highest forms of currency, my G's, at all times. Is what it is, and it'll be what it's gonna be. A big salute to all my day one investors, everybody that's highly invested in the channel, everybody that understands that we are growing this channel organically, constant elevation. We on our way to the top, well over 30,000 subscribers, on our way to 50K. You understand me? Even bigger salute to all my newcomers, all my new subscribers, all my new investors, everybody that's making their way to the realest channel on YouTube, Grown Man Business TV. You already know what it is what it is, and it'll be what it's gonna be, my G's. Now listen, do me a favor. Wipe your feet off before you walk into the big house. Make sure you wipe off your feet. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Make sure your notification bells are ringing loud and clear every time we go live right here on the realest channel on YouTube. You already know I'm gonna give you that pure dope straight off the brick right into the bottles. Is what it is, and it'll be what it's gonna be. Now, big salute to everybody in the DMs, man. I gotta let y'all know I see y'all. I try to respond as fast as possible. I try to engage as much as possible. You understand? And we got a lot of DMs when it come to young Dolph and Hernandez, Govan, right? I think that's his name, Govan, and him being acquitted of all charges in the assassination plot against young Dolph. I got a lot of people in the DM show, GMB TV, what's your perspective on the situation with young Dolph? GMB TV, what's your thought process on everything that's going down with Govan out there in Memphis with young Dolph and the assassination of a young king? You understand what I'm saying? So the downloads are downloading. You already know that the downloads are downloading. And I said, you know what? We're going to tap into this. Now, one thing for sure, two things for certain, man. If you in tune with the channel, if you a day one investor, you got to understand something. Some of my most viral content came off the situation with young Dolph, Empire Death Row Records. A lot of y'all are new to the channel. I got a lot of new subscribers, and a lot of y'all don't understand that if you dig into the archives, if you go and look into my content, some of my most viral content came from the situation with young Dolph. You know what I'm saying? Ghazi. You feel me? Empire Death Row Records. So it's only right that I give y'all, my thought process on what's going on with Hernandez Govan. The whole situation with being acquitted, you know what I'm saying, found not guilty on all charges. You know what I mean? It's only right that I speak on this. Now, you already know when it come down to what I do over here at Grown Man Business TV, I connect the dots like no other. I'm definitely here to connect the dots. You feel what I'm saying? So my perspective is going to be like none other. Ain't nobody on this application going to be able to give y'all the foresight, be able to give y'all the context that I bring to this. So before we get into this, I need y'all to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you are in tune with the realest on YouTube, Grown Man Business TV. You are in the right place. This is not going to be a long live stream, my G. R.I.P. to young Dolph. R.I.P. to a young legend. Another young black king assassinated. Another leader taken too soon, my G. You feel what I'm saying? So it is what it is, and it'll be what it's going to be. But we going to lock into this. All right? Now, one thing for sure, two things for certain. Before I deliver these downloads to the people, before I talk directly to y'all, right? We got to do some customizations to the chat. Y'all already know, man, when I get to speaking this truth, when I get to talking to y'all, when I get to telling and truth telling, independent content creation, the higher ups and the elites are always watching, man. They playing chess at the highest level. The higher ups and the elites are always trying to muffle the message. They're always trying to shadow ban this channel, Grown Man Business TV. I mean, we've all seen it. It is what it is, and it'll be what it's going to be. Regardless on how this game is being played, I'm delivering the downloads. Regardless on the tactics that's being used, I'm going to tell the truth. I'm a truth teller. You know what I mean? I'm an independent content creator. I'm a threat to the establishment. I'm a threat to the higher ups and the elites. An absolute threat, my G. I don't bend, break, or fold. I'm not a slave to a YouTube check. I carved out a lane for the real, and I'm the only one in it. All right? So let's do some customizations to the chat. Big salute. Y'all already know. Big salute to my barber. You know what I mean? We in here. I see y'all. Let's talk, man. This gonna be a good one. You know, Hernandez Govan has been acquitted on all charges. Set free. You know what I mean? Not guilty. And we gonna talk about that. Is what it is, and it'll be what it's gonna be. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Run them likes up. Well over 200 in the chat. Hit the like button when you come in here. Wipe your feet off when you step into the big house. You know what I mean? Is what it is, and it'll be what it's gonna be. Bam. You see that at the bottom of the chat, right? Before you get in here with your Twitter fingers doing all your Twittering, asking all your questions with your Twitter finger, using your Twitter fingers, doing all the Twittering with your Twitter fingers and all that, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and make sure you locked into the channel. Yeah, I said it. I said it. Yo, he be sick. Don't worry about what I'm doing over here. We running them numbers up. We having our way in these YouTube streets. And we building this channel organically. So don't worry about how I'm giving it up. Before you do that, make sure you locked into the realest. All right? Now, this is not going to be a long live stream, my G's. We're not going to stretch this out. We're going to get right to the meat and potatoes of the situation. We're going to get right to the point. You know, we all saw what happened to young Dolph. We all saw what happened to Nipsey Hussle. I mean, it's no coincidence. It's become redundant at this point. It has become redundant at this point. And it get deep, it get wicked, and it's always deeper than rap when it comes to the assassination of a leader, when it comes to the assassination of a truth teller. You understand what I'm saying? Somebody that's going to bring change to the environment. Somebody that's going to bring change to the urban community. It is always an assassination attempt or a successful assassination. We see it over and over again. That's no different than what happened to young Dolph. No different than what happened to Tupac, what happened to Nipsey Hussle. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, it is what it is, and it'll be what it's going to be. And you got to understand something. When Nipsey Hussle was assassinated, I had not started to make content yet. Yeah, I had a YouTube channel, but I was not making content. And, you know, I always felt like I had so much to say when Nipsey Hussle was assassinated. It was so much truth that needed to be told when it came to the assassination of Nipsey Hussle. And Nipsey Hussle was what inspired Grown Man Business TV to begin to create content. Not only create content, but become a truth teller on this app. Become an independent content creator on this app. All right? Soon after Nipsey Hussle loses his life, you know, in a blink of an eye, we lose young Dolph. Young Dolph is assassinated live on camera the same way Nipsey was assassinated live on camera for the world to see, you know, stretched out on, you know, nasty work. By this time, I'm already creating content. I'm already in a position where my voice is more powerful than CNN. My voice is more powerful than Fox News. My voice is becoming more powerful than DJ Envy and Charlamagne the God playing butt tag every day on your morning radio. So when young Dolph was assassinated, I began to expose the higher ups and the elites. A lot of my videos begin to go viral. This is where I started to make my bones on these YouTube streets when young Dolph was assassinated. I'm one of the first YouTubers to connect these insurance policies to these artists. Yes, I'm one of the first YouTubers. I'm one of the first content creators to expose the whole Ponzi scheme, the pyramid scheme, when it comes to these higher ups and the elites, these artists and these insurance policies. Okay? Fast forward to present day, we growing this channel organically. Full-blown threat to the establishment. We cannot be stopped, my G. And before I get into the situation with Hernandez, I want you to know something, man. I want you to look at that last live stream. I want you to understand what happens when you get in this lane and you ain't built like that. I'm only going, listen, I'm not going back and forth with no YouTuber. I'm going to drop a 50 ball on you and I'm going to move forward. Yeah, over 50,000 views on that last one. Yeah, I'm going to do that and I'm going to go my way. So for the dudes out there talking about ain't nobody listening to Grown Man Business TV, I mean, the numbers don't lie. The numbers never lie, my G. So always pay attention. Don't fall for the double cross. Watch out for the triple cross. All right? Big salute to the chat, man. Now let's get into this. We all know what happened to young Dolph. I'm going to give y'all a quick synopsis on a timeline leading up to right now, and then we going to get deep. We going to get deep because it's way deeper than CMG. It's way deeper than Yo Gotti. It's way deeper than what y'all know. You got to look up at the higher ups. You got to look up at the elites. I'm talking Empire Death Row Distribution. I'm talking Ghazi. I'm talking them little hat people. Yeah, the ones that got them synagogues out there in New York City with them tunnels and all that. See, you got to really look at the big picture. And once you look at the big picture, you'll understand it was inevitable that Govan was going to be set free. That was inevitable. There was no way around that. Sacrifices have been made already. Govan has to be set free because Govan was connected to Big Jook, and Big Jook is connected to Yo Gotti, and Yo Gotti is connected to Empire Death Row Distribution, Ghazi, the higher ups and the elites. So again, this what you gotta let this marinate. Don't let it go over your head and under your bridge. There is no surprise that Hernandez was set free. All charges dropped. That is not a surprise. You understand? When you can't see through the smoke and mirrors, that's why you feel like, oh, how did this happen? Or that's nasty work. But when you can see through the smoke and mirrors, when you understand the plays that are being ran, what you'll understand that Govan, he has to be set free. All right? Big salute to the chat. Now, let's get into this. Let's get into this. Make sure y'all hit the like button and all that. Make sure y'all tapped into the realest. Young Dolph, just like Nipsey Hussle, he was too smart for his own good. Yeah, when I was growing up, the OGs would say things like, "You too smart for your own good." And Young Dolph was too smart for his own good. Nipsey Hussle, Young Dolph, they believed that they could be spooked by the door. That's an amazing book. You feel what I'm saying? If you get a second, you like to read, you like audio books, I suggest you get the book, The Spook by the Door, right? These guys believe that you can get in bed with the higher ups and the elites. You can straddle the fence. You can obtain knowledge. You can obtain information, and you can bring it back to your people, and you can help elevate. You understand? You can help free the urban community, not understanding that there is no gray area with this. There is no gray area with this situation, and I'm going to go more into that later in this live stream, but there is no in between. You either in bed with the higher ups and the elites or you're not. You're either a puppet with strings attached or you have no strings attached. There is no middle ground. And what makes a smart man is being able to learn from wins and losses. You got to be able to learn from wins and losses, and not only learn from your wins and your losses, but you need to be able to learn from the wins and losses of other leaders, of other kings. And one thing I learned from Young Dolph and Nipsey Hussle is that you can't play the middle. Nipsey Hussle and Young Dolph both played the middle. They both was trying to give up game to the community at the same time doing business with the higher ups and the elites. And what I've learned is both of them took L's because of that. Now, let's focus on Young Dolph. We're going to get the Govan and all that. We're going to talk about Hernandez, but let's talk about Young Dolph. Let's talk about the source, right? Young Dolph is in the music industry. He's doing business with the higher ups and the elites. He's rubbing shoulders. He's making money. He's making a lane for himself, and he's freeing young hood dudes from the ghetto. He's showing them how to make money. He's showing them how to go to the next level. But behind closed doors, the higher ups and the elites, you know, they pressing young Dolph. They want young Dolph to fully commit. They want him to fully commit to the dark side. Now, young Dolph being too smart for his own good, he's playing both sides of the fence. You know, they pressing young Dolph. Young Dolph is saying, yo, I'm thinking about it. Then young Dolph at the same time is coming out and saying, I ain't doing that. 1 minute you thinking about it, the next minute you ain't doing that. 1 minute you entertaining contracts that's on the table. The next minute you on the Breakfast Club and you in these interviews saying that you an independent artist. You don't want no connection to the higher ups and the elites. Playing the fence, straddling the fence. There is no gray area. And you already know something here at Grown Man Business TV, right? Oh, I kept the receipts. I kept the receipts, my G. One thing for sure and two things for certain. I'm going to keep the receipts. You understand me? Young Dolph and Nipsey Hussle was too smart for their own good. Too smart. Now, we're going to play this first receipt to just give y'all some context on what I'm talking about. Big salute to the chat. I see y'all in here. Yeah, we in here, man. Beautiful Friday. You know what I mean? Look, I'm going to tell you something. I ain't got no malice. I ain't got no hard feelings about Hernandez Govan being set free and found not guilty, because I can see through the smoke and mirrors. And I understand that, you know, pawns get sacrificed every day on the chessboard of life. Pawns get sacrificed every day. When you play chess, what's the first couple of sacrifices that you gonna make? Or you gonna give up a pawn? You gonna give up a pawn. You're going to give up a couple of these pawns so that you can set up moves for the big boys. You can set up a move for your knight, for your rook, for your queen. But before you do that, you got to get some pawns out the way. You got to make sacrifices. So I want to give you this first receipt right here of an example of young Dolph playing both sides of the fence. Of young Dolph playing in the face of the higher ups and the elites. All right, big salute to the chat. You know, we're going to talk about this RIP to young Dolph, but we're going to use your death. We're going to use your assassination. We're going to use your loss for our win. We're going to use your loss for our gain. All right, big salute to the chat. Yeah, I see y'all in here. You got to know something, man. It's real in the field. It's a war going on outside. No man is safe from. All right, big salute to the chat. Hit the like button and all that. Well over 500 in the chat. I need my likes to go up substantially. I need my likes up there. All right, let's look at this. I want y'all to listen to this. Big salute to the chat. Look.
Hey, man, I done got myself in a fucked up ass situation, dog. I don't know what the fuck to do, dog. Nah, man, really tell you the truth, I do know what to do, but I'm gonna let y'all know what's going on. Bro, for the last 6 months, I've been having a motherfucking $22 million contract debating on shit I do the deal or not. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, should I take the 22 million or fuck the 22 million? Fuck the 22 million. Hey, man. I done got myself in a fucked up ass situation, dog. I don't know what the fuck to do, dog. Nah, man, really tell you the truth, I do know what to do, but I'm gonna let y'all know what's going on. Bro, for the last 6 months, I've been having a motherfucking $22 million contract debating on shit I do the deal or not. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, should I take the 22 million or fuck the 22 million? Fuck the 22 million.
Now, big salute to chat. Appreciate that 5-piece snuggie. You already know. Yeah, we talking about Hernandez Govan being acquitted, found not guilty in the assassination of young Dolph. And not only him being found not guilty, but we're going to go deeper into the real inner workings of why young Dolph in particular, specifically young Dolph, why he was assassinated. You understand what I'm saying? Strings that were pulled on why he was taken out. All right. Now, when this receipt right here, you see this receipt, you got young Dolph talking about a $22 million contract, you know, and he feeling himself. You know what I mean? He got that Gucci, he got that linen on. He talking to the camera. He's saying, yo, for the last 6 months, I've been having this contract. You know, should I take the 22 mil or F the 22 mil? He throw the contract on the car. He say, F the 22 mil. He walk off laughing. Now, that $22 million contract is a distribution contract. Empire Death Row Distribution. Ghazi. These guys have been, you know, baiting young Dolph. Yo, get in bed with us. We got you. Let's do more business. Let's really get this thing going. Let's really get the wheels turning. And you've been giving us signs that you ready to get, you ready to get down, young Dolph. You've been giving us signs. You've been doing exactly what you need to do to let us know that you ready. So when we put that 22 million on the table, we expecting you to take that, right? Young Dolph, again, playing the fence, he doing certain things to entice them, but then he telling them F the 22 million. And what I'm here to tell you is this video was the beginning of the green light. This video is where the green light was pressed. Yeah, Dolph had been shot. He got the song 100 Shots. He got shot out there in LA. We're going to talk about those things as well. But this video with him saying F the 22 million and not signing that contract, this is where the green light was pushed. All right. Now, I want to give y'all some real game. And it get deep, homie. It's a reason why the higher ups and the elites allow so much violence in our music. While all we hear is about violence, we hear about drilling, we hear about hoes and prostitution. Because the more we listen to this violent music, the easier it is for them to blame these assassinations on black violence, on gang violence. Oh, you know how those niggers do. They get to shooting each other over money and watches and chains. Niggers gonna kill niggers. It's nothing more, nothing less. We had nothing to do with it. Black people, they're going to shoot each other. And then they blame it on the music. They blame it on the content. They blame it on the very content they allow to be pushed in the urban community. You understand? So I need you to really follow me on this. Young Dolph, matter of fact, we got receipts. I got the receipts. Young Dolph was playing into the hands of the higher ups and the elites. Young Dolph is not as innocent as everybody makes him out to be. Young Dolph is an artist that understood that the more you play into the hands of the higher ups and the elites, the higher you go up on the totem pole, the more success you are allowed to obtain. But you got to understand this. The more you play with the higher ups and the elites, the more you bend, break, and fold, the more they press you to get full in bed. You got to get in bed with the higher ups. Nipsey did the same thing, my G. It is what it is, and it'll be what it's going to be. Nipsey did songs with Young Thug, a rapper that wear dresses and wear makeup, a homosexual rapper. Nipsey did those things. Nipsey started to do business with certain higher ups and the elites. Nipsey started to bend, break, and fold, understanding and thinking that, I could do a little bit of this, but I could do more of that. I could do a little bit of this with the higher ups and the elites, but I could give more game to my people. Yeah, I'm going to give them a little sprinkle. I'm going to give them just a little bit, and then I'm going to give the game to my people. And as soon as you are found out, as soon as they smell that, you out of here. Now, I got the receipts, my G. Because like I said, Dolph is not as innocent as everybody tries to make him. And I'm going to play a receipt right here that went over a lot of y'all head and under a lot of y'all bridges. A lot of people look past this video, but me, as soon as I saw this video, I knew exactly what was going on. I knew exactly what Dolph was doing. All right? So, again, I have no hard feelings for Hernandez Govan. I understand why he was set free, and we're going to get into that. But right now, I want to walk you through what young Dolph was doing. I want to give you some context on why young Dolph was assassinated, on why there is not going to be any real justice in the death and the assassination of young Dolph. They got the shooters, all right? That's about as far as it's going to go. That's about as far as it's going to go. A lot of people in my DMs, yo, G&B TV, what you think about yo Gotti? Gotti is not going to prison. Gotti is going to walk free. Gotti is not going to catch a Fed case. Gotti did exactly what he was supposed to do. Gotti played the game at the highest level. Gotti is a very, very lucrative puppet for the higher ups and the elites. Gotti is not going nowhere. So for all y'all in my DMs asking me and making references to Gotti going to federal prison, I'm here to, I got to be the bearer of bad news. I got to bust your bubble. Yo Gotti is not, and we're going to talk about that. Yo Gotti is not going to prison. Yo Gotti checkmated young Dolph. Checkmate. All right? Big salute to the chat. Now, what I want to do is I want to show y'all, I can't play the music because you know YouTube, you know how they give it up. But I want to show y'all some visual from one of the last videos that young Dolph did before he was assassinated. I want to show y'all what young Dolph did to let the higher ups and the elites know he was fair game, to let those people know that he was with it, that he was down, that he didn't, listen, that he didn't have no problem playing the game. I'm going to show you. And then when you get a chance, you go watch it for yourself. Listen to the lyrics. But the visual is just as powerful as the lyrics, my G. So we're not going to play this, but I want y'all to watch this. Big salute. 1,300 in the chat, man. Run those likes up and all that. You in the right place. Young Dolph was too smart for his own good. All right? Now, let's get into this receipt right here. Big salute to the chat. Y'all already know who y'all dealing with. The biggest, the realest, pure dope, straight off the brick into the bottles. That's the only way I'm going to give it to you. Pure dope. All right? Let's get into this. Look! Look! Now I want to stop right there. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Now, we're going to break down some of this visual before I go any further. You got the all-seeing eye. We all know that Rockefeller sign. We all know the all-seeing eye. He got that all-seeing eye to introduce and come into the intro of this video. You know what I mean? This is young Dolph talking to my scale. That's the name of this song. It's the name of this song is Talking to my scale. All right? He got the all-seeing eye. Okay? You got all this visual. These are things that young Dolph did on his own time. Nobody forced young Dolph to make this video. Nobody told young Dolph he had to make this video like this. But he chose to because he understood that he was playing into the hands of the higher-ups and the elites. He was letting them know that he was with it. He was with all of the action. Young Dolph wasn't like Grown Man Business TV. Young Dolph wasn't a man saying, I'm standing on business. I'm not going to bend, break, or fold. Young Dolph, just like Nipsey Hussle, was an artist. He became a puppet. Even though he was so-called independent, he was still connected. And when you are connected, there's multiple different areas and angles that you can take to show the higher-ups and the elites that you are with it. You can put a dress on. You could put makeup on. You could do the Little Nas X. You could become a homosexual. Or you could put these, these Grand Mason signs all up in your video. Your imagery, the images that you push to the urban community could be working for those little hat people. Let's look at more. You already, look. Money, all the money. Look, that's young Dolph. Look, that's young Dolph with the red eyes right here. You see the red eyes? You see the all-seeing eye? Look at that. Look at Dolph. Look at Dolph. Look, the money, all the money, the jewelry. Look at Dolph. Look at the red eye right there. Look. Look at young Dolph. He in hell. Look. Look at the red crosses right there. Look. The all-seeing eye. Red cross. Look. Now, that song is called Talking to My Scale. That song, when I first saw that video, that's when I realized what Dolph had done. He turned down the contract. They offered him the contract understanding that he had let them know. So he basically let them know he was with it. I'm down with this. I'm ready to go to the next level. I'm ready to do this. And then he turned around and made a video saying F the contract. All right. Now, when that has been done, when you have sacrificed your soul, my G, that's what young Dolph did, respectfully. Young Dolph sacrificed his soul to the higher ups and the elites. Young Dolph walked through the door. And when you walk through the door, we all understand and we know that you are, it's a high possibility your sacrifice is coming. When you walk through the door, you are worth more dead than alive to those people. When you walk through the door, when you make these videos, when you sacrifice your soul, you are worth more dead than alive. Okay? And I rock with Young Dolph. I understood what he was. I understood what he meant to the culture. But I do understand that Young Dolph made a decision. And in this realm, in this matrix, you have a choice, my G. You always have a choice. It's a universal law. They have to give you a choice. You have to say yes. You have to do that. And with this video right here, Young Dolph said yes. With this video right here, look at the dog fur. Look, demons, look. Look, look. So, that's more than enough for you. That's more than enough, my G, for you to understand it is what it is and it'll be what it's going to be. I don't expect you guys, I don't expect a lot of y'all to understand this, which is one of the reasons my voice is so powerful. I know it sounds ridiculous to a lot of you sheep. I know a lot of the sheep say, it ain't no such thing, man. That ain't real. Well, ask yourself, why was Dolph doing this? Ask yourself this question. With all the real estate that Dolph owned, Dolph was one of the biggest real estate holders in Memphis, Tennessee. In Tennessee as a whole, Young Dolph, a crack baby, was one of the biggest real estate holders in that state. Young Dolph is a married man. Young Dolph is a family man. It's so many different things that Young Dolph could be talking about in this video. Instead, he's walking around with the dog fur. He got red crosses. He got the all-seeing eye. He got all the Illuminati higher up in the elites. He got all the symbolism in these videos, especially this one. So I don't expect a lot of the sheep to understand this, but that's why you're here. Respectfully, that's why you are in the right place, Grown Man Business TV, because all I'm gonna do is give you pure dope straight off the brick into the bottles for you to put that in your pipe and for you to smoke it. All right? Now that I'm giving y'all some game on this, now you can see what really led up to the assassination of this young man right here, Young Dolph. There is no middle ground. There is no in between. There is no gray area. You understand what I'm saying? You either with the evil or you with good. You either with the devil or you with God. You don't get to play in between. There is no straddling the fence. And once you make a choice to ride with the higher ups and the elites, once you make a choice to walk through the door, there is no turning back. There is no refunds. When you sell your soul, there is no refunds. I mean, I'm going to go deep with this. All right? Now, with that being said, with all that being exposed, right? With all that being put out there, now you ask yourself, who is Empire Death Row Distribution? Who is Empire Death Row Records? Well, Empire Death Row Records is a distribution company ran by a little hat person. Yeah, that 3-letter word. by the name of Ghazi. Now, Ghazi, he is known for giving a lot of high-risk artists an opportunity to sign up. Ghazi is known in the industry for giving a lot of high-risk artists, a lot of artists that have beef in the street, a lot of artists that are high risk. He does what no other record label will do. He does what no other distribution company will do, and he gives them an opportunity to do business. Now, I want to point out something when it comes to Empire Death Row Records, Empire Death Row Distribution. Why do I call them Death Row? Because when you go on Death Row, you got a very high chance of losing your life. You got a very high chance of being assassinated. You got a very high chance of selling your soul on Death Row. That's why I call it Empire Death Row Distribution. And I kept the receipts, my G. Empire has a track record of artists, rappers, and other artists dying while they're signed to them. I mean, multiple upon multiple upon multiple. I mean, it's not just one, it's not just two. I mean, it's multiple. It's not one, it's not two, it's more than a few rappers that lost their life under the armor and under the so-called protection of Empire Death Row Distribution. And you got to understand something. All these RICO charges in the urban community, all these RICO charges, but we ain't seen a RICO charge on Empire Death Row Distribution. Yeah, I kept the receipts. With all these bodies, we ain't seen a RICO charge. When you working for the higher-ups and the elites, you got the protection of the higher-ups and the elites. Now, I just want to give y'all some context on what I'm talking about. I want to give y'all some context on what I mean when I say Empire Death Row Distribution. And we're going to go deeper into that before we move further. All right? I got the receipts. Yeah, I got hit the like button and all that. I got the receipts. Let's look at this. Look. Music artist Death Empire, right? You got Young Dolph that was involved with Empire Death Row Distribution. You got P&B Rock that was in bed with Empire Death Row Distribution. You got Draco the Ruler, who was in bed with Ghazi. You got King Von. Look. You got Mo 3. You got XXXTentacion. And you got Aaliyah. Now look at this. Now, you mean to tell me that's a coincidence? Well, over here at Grown Man Business TV, we don't believe in coincidence. There is no such thing as a coincidence. It's a pattern. It's redundant. All the way back to Aaliyah. You know, y'all remember, let's go back into history. Let's go back into time. Y'all remember how sudden, out of nowhere, this beautiful artist by the name of Aaliyah, this angel, all of a sudden goes down in a plane crash? How confused we all was, how much nasty work it was finding out that Aaliyah, this beautiful young lady, was rushed and stuffed onto this little ass plane with all her equipment and goes down in a plane crash. You know what we blame it on? You know, that's what God would have wanted. Oh, the will of God. That's what God would have wanted. Well, what God are we talking about? Because when you say God, you know, it's multiple. What God are you worshiping? You know, right after that Rock the Boat video, Aaliyah passes away. XX a young man making a way in the industry, a young man with such influence on the urban community. I mean, XX had a stronghold on the young minds of America. He had went from a violent young man to finding peace, finding harmony, being connected to the urban community. And just like that, he's out of here. The one thing these artists all have in common is Death Row Empire Distribution. The one thing all of these artists have in common is that they were assets to Empire Death Row Distribution. Now, I want to give y'all some game on this. A lot of these YouTubers, they don't own property. They don't have assets. They don't understand how this thing works. All right? But I'm one of the ones that do. So when you are a company and you invest into an asset, you are now allowed to take out insurance on said asset. Listen to me. When you are a company and you invest money, thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars into an asset, you now have the right to take out an insurance policy, life insurance, property insurance, whatever insurance. You have the right to take out an insurance policy on said asset. I own this property, the big house. I have homeowners insurance. I have to have insurance on this said asset. These artists were all assets to Empire Death Row Distribution, Ghazi. And when these artists lost their life, guess who cashed in on life insurance policies so they could recoup their investment? Woo! Oh, y'all thought we was just going to talk about Hernandez, Govan? Y'all thought we was just going to talk about the shooters? No, we getting deep into this. When Aaliyah passed away, who you think got the life insurance policy? When young Dolph was assassinated, who you think got the life insurance policy? When King Von lost his life, who you think cashed in on millions of dollars of life insurance policies? Oh yeah. This why the voice is powerful. This why you hear, right? It get deep, it get wicked, and it's always deeper than rap. All these artists, and this I'm sure it's more, but all these artists were insurance policies for Empire Death Row Distribution. And I like to say Empire Death Row because I'm not saying your name. You can't come at me for defamation. I said Empire Death Row Distribution. Because it's like being on death row. At the top of the mound, at the top of the mountain, it's bigger than record sales. It's bigger than streams. It's bigger than that. Why would I care about your streams when I could crash you out, when I can assassinate you, and I can cash in on $50 million, $50 million life insurance policy, $40 million life insurance policy, $100 million life insurance policy? Why would I, oh, we gonna get straight to the money. Young Dolph had a green light put on his head. Now, before we get into that, right? Because I said what I said. All these artists were assassinated under and being signed to Empire Death Row Distribution. But before we go any deeper, I need you to understand, right? This is not 1950. This is not 1965. You are no longer just able to assassinate black leaders, black artists, right? And just walk away. This is not Martin Luther King. This is not Malcolm X, where you could just send some random white boy out there, blow their head off, and wipe it under the rug. You got to get smarter. You got to get more strategic. So when you look at Young Dolph, when you look at P&B Rock, when you look at Draco the Ruler, when you look at King Von, when you look at Mo 3, when you look at XXXTentacion, what do they all have in common? Black on black violence, gang culture. Oh, you know how those black people do. They just shoot each other and they're gonna shoot each other. I mean, it's black people. You know how niggers do when they are out there in the hood. They got guns and it's black on black violence. You ever notice every time one of these artists lose their life, it gets swept under the rug as black on black violence or gang violence? Now that's gonna segue me into Young Dolph. Young Dolph says, I'm not taking the 22 million. Young Dolph already has beef with Yo Gotti and CMG. Young Dolph has already been shot before. It's a well-known fact that CMG and Paper Route Empire are in the war. So the higher-ups and the elites play you out of position. The higher-ups and the elites say, you know what? It's already a war going on outside. This is where Yo Gotti and Big Jook come into play. Or we about to talk about it. We about to talk about it. Because anybody that believes Big Jook pulled that play without Yo Gotti knowing is a sheep. I mean, if you really believe that Big Jook, you know, he was just that gangster that he would pull a play and put a bag on Young Dolph without stamping that with his brother, I mean, you know, it is what it is and it'll be what it's going to be. You really got to understand something. A call was made. You know what? Young Dolph is playing too many games. Young Dolph ain't signed the contract. Young Dolph ain't in bed. Young Dolph is playing, he's playing too many games. A call was made. Go ahead and do what you got to do. It's a green light on Young Dolph. Get him out of here. And then another phone call was made. Yo, Big Jook, what it do? We got the green light. Put word in the street. Get him out of here. Now, I ain't saying who made the phone call. I understand that y'all are watching. I understand that the higher-ups and the elites are watching. I understand that celebrities are watching. But some phone calls was made. Big Jook was in contact with Hernandez Govan. Big Jook was the connection to the streets. Now, it get deep, it get wicked, and it's always deeper than rap. Because that work was real sloppy. Yeah, the shooters were junkies. The work was real sloppy. And as soon as Young Dolph lost his life, right? Matter of fact, I got the receipts. I got the receipts, my G. You know how I give it up over here at Grown Man Business TV. And I got the receipts. It was sloppy work, man. The green light didn't come from Big Jook. The green light came from the higher-ups and the elites. Yeah, you know, people like Empire, Death Row Distribution. That's where the green light came from. It came from people like that. Allegedly. Now, I want y'all to watch this receipt, and we're going to go deeper. We gonna go deeper into the rabbit hole. R.I.P. to young Dolph. But you was too smart for your own good, my G. Is what it is, and it'll be what it's gonna be. Look! Look!
Could you see who was inside of the cookie store from once you got out of the car?
Oh, once we pulled in, this when I saw young Dolph like close to the glass, like you gonna bag up. That's when I thought where he was at, like location in the store, where his location was inside the store.
Is this the person to which you're referring?
Yes, ma'am.
Was that you?
Yes, ma'am. That was me that ran up, shooting inside the store.
Now, I'm gonna keep that short. I'm gonna keep that short and sweet, right? You know what? Matter of fact, you know what? For the people, you know, in the chat, we gonna look. All right, let's look at another one, man. Absolutely nasty work what they did to the homie Dolph, man. Crazy work, right? Big salute to the chat, man. Hit the like button and all that.
And whose vehicle is it?
That's young Dolph.
R.I.P. to young Dolph.
We could pause the video right here. Mr. Hopkins, do you recognize the individual? The individual is the front counter. Who is that?
That's young Dolph.
And there's an individual behind him. Who is that?
That's his brother Marcus.
Say that you're referring to a young doctor. Mr. Hopkins.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, it's another one too, right? But we're not gonna waste a lot of time on that. R.I.P. to young Dolph, man. Hold on real quick. Let me see something. R.I.P. to Dolph, man. It was nasty work what they did to Dolph. Matter of fact, we'll run this one back. Run this one back.
And could you you see who was inside of the cookie store from once you got out of the car? Is this the person to which you're referring?
Yes, ma'am.
Was that you?
Yes, ma'am. That was me that bring it up, shooting his ass.
All right, so now young Dolph is assassinated. Now let's really talk about this, because yes, Govan acquitted, not guilty, right? Now let's really break this down. Now young Dolph is assassinated. We all saw it. Nasty work. R.I.P. to young Dolph. But the shooters, they get caught real fast. They go on a run, they get caught. And now it's a possibility that the shooters are going to start talking exactly the way they started talking. The shooters, they get locked up, they in prison, and now the higher ups and the elites are concerned. They are very, very concerned. Because if the shooters start talking, it's a paper trail. It could definitely lead to the wrong people being exposed in this murder for hire scheme set out for young Dolph. So now the wheels is turning. Now it's mayhem. We all remember Yo Gotti not being invited to the Rock Nation brunch. We all saw what happened with Black Youngster. We all saw the dismantle of CMG. You understand what I'm saying? We all saw it go down. And nobody connected the dots on the situation. Everybody's saying, Yo Gotti's going to prison. Yo Gotti's going to get a Fed case. And I'm here to tell you that's not going to happen. All right? Now some more phone calls is being made. Yo, those were some junkies, man. That was sloppy work. That was nasty work. Why we thought y'all, that right there was too sloppy. Yo Gotti, you got to nip that in the bud, my G. Yo Gotti, you already in bed with the higher ups and the elites. But for you to go to the next level, it's your turn to make a sacrifice. A sacrifice that you wasn't even thinking about. Because this job was done so sloppy, either you gonna go to jail or you gonna make a sacrifice. Okay, here's where it gets real at. We all saw how quiet Yo Gotti got. Yo Gotti, you gonna go to, listen, y'all going to jail. This situation was done too sloppy. They already know who did it. You guys is in jail. They about to start telling. You're going to make a sacrifice, Yo Gotti. You got to nip that in the bud or everybody's going to jail. We not going to jail. We'll dismantle the whole CMG before it gets to the higher ups and the elites. Is what it is, and it'll be what it's going to be. Well, out of nowhere, Big Jook get his head blown off. The one person, the main person that delivered the message from the higher ups and the elites to the streets gets his head blown off. And guess what? It's on camera. Y'all ain't understand what y'all was looking at. Big Jook at a funeral gets turned into a funeral. Big Jook at a repast gets turned into a corpse right in front of us. And I saw the video. We all saw the video. Big Jook laying in the grass with a headshot. He got his TV turned off in the words of Hassan Campbell. And if you gotta listen, man, I'm here to show you why Hernandez is found not guilty. A sacrifice had to be made, and Big Jook was sacrificed. Now everything is going to be put on Big Jook, a dead man. That's the way, that's how it been going in 2020, 2025. Everybody's pinning bodies on a dead man. Y'all didn't notice how calm, cool, and collective Yo Gotti been after his big brother, one of the closest people to him, got his head blown off. Y'all ain't notice. Yo Gotti ain't skipped a beat, flashing jewelry, taking trips, because it's something that had to be done. That wasn't by mistake. That wasn't a situation where his brother just got assassinated and blase blah. No, that had to be set up. That was a calculated assassination. That is the only way Yo Gotti was going to get out of this situation. Respectfully, allegedly. So I say all that to say this. Hernandez Gomez or Govan, he was told about the green light on Dolph. He was privy to a lot of information. He was privy to a lot of information. And if Hernandez Gomez or Govan, if he goes to jail for 100 years, you think he not going to start exposing Yo Gotti, the higher ups in the elites? You think he ain't going to start talking? You think Hernandez going to go to jail for life and he not going to end up in an interrogation room with those people eating McDonald's and all that? An extra large Coke. I'm talking a Big Mac with extra cheese on it. You think he ain't gonna end up in the interrogation room spilling the beans? You know what? I got one more receipt for y'all. I got one more receipt. I got one more receipt, because again, you got to understand something. That man didn't get acquitted for no reason. There's no reason for that man to go to prison and put him at risk of exposing Yo Gotti, CMG, and the higher ups and the elites. There's no reason to put that man in prison and have him turn state evidence. It is what it is, and it'll be what it's going to be. All right, so I want y'all to listen clearly. We're going to break this down. I want y'all to really open your ears, man. Listen to what's going on, because one thing for sure and two things for certain, they got to tell you what's going on, but if you're not smart enough to decipher and see through the smoke and mirrors, then y'all lost. You lost. We're going to tell you what's going on, but if you can't see it, it don't even matter. Oh, yeah. Oh, we talking big talk right now. We talking big talk. There is no way around it. Look. Let's get into this receipt. Big salute to the chat. Let's get into this. I don't want to waste no more time. Look at this. Look.
I just want to say thank you to my attorneys, Manny, Robert, Haley, Beth, Handel, my private investigators, everybody for helping me. I didn't have the resources to necessarily, cover everything, and Manny still helped me, and he knew I was innocent. Everybody around me knew I was innocent. I just want to say thank you to the resources to. I didn't have the resources to necessarily, cover everything, and Manny still helped me, and he knew I was innocent. Everybody around me knew I was innocent. I just want to say thank you to I didn't have the resources to. I didn't have the resources to necessarily, cover everything, and Manny still helped me, and he knew I was innocent. Everybody around me knew I was innocent. I just want to say thank you to I didn't have the resources to. I didn't have the resources to.
Now, again, They get deep, it get wicked, and it's always deeper to rap. And big salute to the chat, because I'm going to tap into his daughter as well. Big salute to that. But he basically told you he did not have the resources to pay for these lawyers, these high-powered lawyers that went in there and got him out. He didn't have the money. He didn't have the bankroll. He didn't have the Skrilla, the paper, the cheese, the cheddar, that mucho dinero. He didn't have that. Now, so you got to ask yourself, who paid for the lawyer? Because those lawyers don't work for free. Those lawyers don't just work for you because they know that you innocent. And when you playing on this level, man, just talking, you're going to expose something. You're gonna expose yourself just opening your mouth. He said, man, listen, I ain't have the money. You know, I didn't even have the money to pay for these lawyers. You know why he had paid high-power lawyers? Because they needed him to get acquitted of all charges. The sacrifice have already been made. Juk is laying in his grave. Juk got his head blown off. And if you ask me, he deserved that. If you ask me, he deserved that. And you know, gang violence. Oh, that was retaliation for young Dolph. Big Juk lost his life. R.I.P. Rest in peace. That was gang black on black violence. You know how these niggers do. They kill each other. Once Big Juk lost his life, the paper trail stopped right there. Is, you know, the only person they got to worry about is Hernandez, Govan, whatever. That's the last piece of the puzzle. And what they did was they said, you know what? You playing with the higher-ups and the elites. We're going to show you how we get down. And his daughter got assassinated out there in Houston, Texas. Yeah, she was out there for a concert. She was out there doing business. She was a rapper and all that. And, you know, she got assassinated. Nobody been arrested. No, cold case. Got a TV turned off. It turned to a cold case. And that let Hernandez know, we ain't playing with you, little homie. You got one choice. The sacrifice have been made. Your daughter got assassinated. We took care of that. Don't you ever worry about that. Now you got one choice. You can keep your mouth closed, or you can go up there to the upper room with your daughter. You and your daughter could be in the upper room. When Jesus, the upper room. Yeah, we send your daughter to the upper room, and you can go to the upper room. Make a decision. We got some high-powered lawyers. You ain't got to say a word. You ain't got to say a word. Hernandez got up here and told y'all, I ain't even have the money to pay for these lawyers. I'm so thankful. Hernandez is the connection to Yo Gotti, Empire Death Row Distribution, and the higher-ups and the elites. And I'm going to tell y'all something. I want to say this here first. You ain't heard nobody connect these dots. Hernandez will be assassinated within the next 5 years, respectfully. Hernandez is going to go out there to witness protection. They're going to move Hernandez out of Memphis. They're going to put him somewhere in Iowa, somewhere in Nebraska, somewhere in North Dakota, and he's going to get his TV turned off. Hernandez is the last connection to the truth, to real justice. And what you got to understand is, just when you think you in bed with the higher-ups and the elites, just when you think you did all you were supposed to do, just when you think you made the biggest sacrifice, they turn your TV off. Oh, breaking news. Hernandez Govan has been found deleted in his home. Looks like a suicide. Yeah, it looks like an overdose. Hernandez had a tremendous pill habit, and he was found unresponsive. The upper room. Oh, Hernandez was found in his car due to black-on-black violence. The upper room. Hernandez was found unresponsive in his home out here in Alaska, North Dakota, South Dakota, under witness protection. He was found unresponsive. It looks like a suicide OD. The upper room. Hernandez, you ain't scot-free just yet, my G. You ain't out of the pits of hell just yet, my G. You still in bed with those people, and they cannot risk you getting comfortable, you getting intoxicated, you running your mouth to somebody. Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm so high. You know, the higher ups in the elites, they wanted young. You know, they can't risk you talking to somebody. So I'm here to tell you respectfully, Hernandez, your life is in danger. Your life is in danger. Murder, murder, your life's on the line. You niggas don't want no parts of me. I'm trying to figure out how y'all started me. You gonna make me catch you on the late night. Yeah. Yeah, I'm the only one that's gonna talk this talk. All right? So Hernandez Govan being acquitted of all charges, no surprise. No surprise, my G. They gonna line your ass up. You dealing with, you know what? I'm gonna let you talk a little bit more, homie. Go ahead and talk a little bit more. You've been talking already. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Everybody for helping me. I didn't have the resources to necessarily, cover everything, and Manny still helped me, and he knew I was innocent. Everybody around me knew I was innocent. I just want to say thank you to the jurors for getting this right and getting my life back.
And that's the main thing. What was it like during the trial? At what point did you think, hey, wait a minute, I think I have a chance?
Well, I knew I had a chance from the beginning because I knew in my heart I was innocent. And so, there was times during the trial, of course, you get some frustrations and stuff here and there, but overall, I knew my innocence would prevail.
And how do we do prepping and everything? Everything you do is all planned for you too as well?
Well, it's trial. You never know what's going to happen. All you can do is prepare the most you can. There were a lot of sleepless nights and.
Now, I want to say, man, that's a nasty strand of dog fur right there, man. That's a nasty strand of dog fur. I'm gonna point this out to you. You know, Hernandez is surrounded by the dog fur. Yeah, that dogma. Yeah, that smell like a sheepdog. Smell like a goddamn golden retriever. This dog fur smell like Sassoon shampoo and Newport 100 straight to the dog fur. Look, 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 look. They surrounded you with that dog fur, Gomez. They got you out of there. You standing there, milk dud head having ass. I'm talking straight milk dud. You shine, yeah. Got you talking about your life. You got your life. You ain't got your life back, homie. You can't live in Memphis without being assassinated. They gonna move your ass to North Dakota. Yeah, they gonna move you to South Dakota, Iowa, Wyoming, Alaska. Pick your choice. Where you want to go? You want to go to North Dakota? We got you. You want to go to Alaska? Dress warm, nigga. It ain't gonna be 5 years before we get the news. Hernandez Gomez. Yeah, the upper room. You going to the upper room, Hernandez. Respectfully. Look. Look at his face. Look. She's saying your ass out of here, Hernandez. Hernandez, look. That don't look like an innocent man that's being set free. Yeah, that don't look like that. That looked like a man that did work for the higher ups and the elites. That looked like a man that know when he walk out that gate, when he walk off that courtroom, the upper room. Yeah, he's scared to death. When you ever seen an innocent man get set free and look like that on his face right there, scared to death? The last and the only connection to the real green light, Hernandez. Yeah, the young man that got on the stand, he's an ex-junkie, he's a pillhead. Nobody's gonna believe him. He's in prison. He's a rat. He got 140 years. He ain't going nowhere. The other dude, he in prison, they gave him life plus 40 years. He ain't going nowhere. But Hernandez is the only connection. You think Big Jook ain't tell Hernandez when he broke down the play and he broke down the green light? Listen, my brother reached out to me. My brother said it's a go. You think Hernandez didn't ask Big Jook, yo, you ran this past Gotti. I don't want to do this if Gotti ain't with it. I don't want to, yo, bro, you saying it's a green light, but I know, I don't want to upset yo Gotti. You ran this past your brother. You think Hernandez and Big Jook didn't have that conversation? Listen, man. My brother got the okay from the higher ups. My brother gave me the okay. We about to run this play. I got 100,000 on Dolph. I got 50,000 on PRE Woo. I got another 5,000 on Big Grape, Munchie Grape. I got another. You think that didn't happen? Oh, that went down, homie. That's how it went down. This man had detailed conversation with Big Joe. Yo, okay, cool. Oh, it's a green light on PRE? Word, I'm with that. Yo, Gotti, you know about this? You ran this past your brother, right? Yeah, I ran this past Gotti. He the one who reached out to me. He told me everything is good. Shit rolls downhill. Information comes downhill. It's a chain of command. Yeah, my brother already told me his people touched in. It's a go, homie. Let's get this. Let's get this money. The upper room. Now, big salute to the chat. Again, the man said he didn't even have money for a lawyer, but he had high power attorneys fighting for his freedom, fighting on his behalf. Is what it is, and it'll be what it's going to be. R.I.P. to young Dolph. Now, I want to end with this, right? Again, like I said, I don't have no hard feelings about Hernandez being found not guilty because I can see through the smoke and mirrors and I understand he is a plate. This man is on borrowed time. This man is on borrowed time. It is inevitable. You do not get a happy ending when it comes to this. You don't live and go happily ever after when you dealing with the higher ups and the elites. Oh, they gonna make a plate out of you, homie. They gonna have a good time with you. You out of here. But for a deeper message, the big picture, you cannot play both sides of the fence. We are in dangerous times right now. Spiritual warfare is what we are dealing with right now in this realm. Spiritual warfare. You either with evil or you not. You either with him or you with us. When you talk about God, you need to be specific to the God that you are talking about. When you speak, When you speak of God, my G, you need to be specific on the God that you are talking about. God is no longer strong enough. You need to say the Most High. You need to say Jesus. You need to say whatever you speak to. Or you need to say the devil. You need to say Lucifer. You need to say Bali. You need to talk directly to the God that you worship, my G. You got to know something, man. The winners, the real smart, the geniuses, we learn from the mistakes of others. And Young Dolph and Nipsey Hussle thought that they could play the fence. They thought that they could play both sides. And both of them ended up in the same predicament. Tupac Shakur, he thought that he could play both sides. I'm going to leave y'all with Tupac Shakur. Tupac Shakur thought that he could play both sides. These leaders, you understand? Because these dudes are absolute leaders, but it's a such thing as being too smart for your own good, my G. There is a such thing as being too smart for your own good. Tupac Shakur. I want to give y'all this last image. Tupac Shakur had a song called Smile. He had a song called Smile with Scarface. And I remember as a youngster, man, becoming very emotional when I saw this video. You know, the downloads downloaded. These downloads actually downloaded last night as I thought about this live stream, as I thought about Young Dolph, and I thought about Nipsey Hussle, and it took me back to Tupac Shakur, you know, the first leader that me personally, I saw get assassinated, and I saw these plays, these Hail Mary plays that the higher ups and elites run for the first time. Is when I saw it was Tupac. And, you know, Tupac was way, you know, you look at Dolph and you look at Nipsey, they might have been 10% of Tupac Shakur. They were only 10% of what Tupac Shakur was. And I remember watching this Smile video after Tupac had been assassinated. And as a young man, it evoked emotion. You know, I remember shedding a couple of tears. You know, it really touched me, right? Not understanding that Tupac was the first one that I know of that tried to play both sides of the fence. Tupac went through the door. Tupac was a prophet. Tupac was exactly who he was, but we didn't have this technology at the time. We didn't have the evidence to know that he went through the door. He tried to play both sides of the fence. He tried to feed the higher ups and the elites, and he tried to free his people. He tried to liberate his people, and you cannot play both sides of the fence. Now, I want to just go through some imagery of Tupac. This Smile video. If you get a chance, I would, you know, suggest anybody, especially you youngsters that rock with Grown Man Business TV, go watch the Scarface and Tupac Shakur Smile video. Powerful, powerful video. Even to this day, it really makes me emotional when I listen to the lyrics of this song and I watch the video. So I just want to play, a clip from this video, and then I want to show you this side of the fence, and then I want to show you that side of the fence, even when it came down to Tupac Shakur. All right? Now, I can't play the song because y'all already know how YouTube does, but I want to play some of this video, and then I want to kind of talk about it. Very, very deep visual. And like I said, even to this day, man, when I watched it last night, and it really made me feel some type of way. As a man, I can control my emotions, but it really made me feel emotional, even to this present day. R.I.P. to Tupac Shakur. Let's look at this. Let's get a look at this. Look.
Smile in the future, but through whatever.
Now, this is Tupac on a cross. That's Tupac being depicted as Christ. In this video, you have Tupac Shakur depicting himself as the new age Jesus Christ, the black Jesus, in this Smile video. You understand what I'm saying? And you gotta really think of what this video would have meant if Tupac Shakur would have never been assassinated. What this would have done to the youth, young black men watching and looking up to Tupac. You know, this would have really changed a lot of mindsets. This would have really altered the path for the urban community. You know, let's look some more. Look.
For the lies and pictures, watch that kids ain't no sympathy. My childhood years was in the cemetery. Here's a message to the newborns, waiting to breathe. If you believe, then you can achieve. Just look at me.
You know, why shed tears ain't no sympathy. My childhood years was spent burying my peers in the cemetery. Here's a message to the newborns waiting to breathe. If you believe, then you can achieve. Just look at me. Against all odds, though life is hard, we carry on. Living in the projects, broke, no lights on. To all the seeds that follow me, protect your essence. Born with less, but you still precious. Just smile for me now. Smile for me. Won't you just smile? Like, that was one side of the fence that Tupac was playing into. I mean, again, this video, man, amazing, right? But I want to show you the other side of Tupac that they, you know, I want to show you the other side of Tupac where we didn't get to understand. The same way young Dolph did that video with all that devilish imagery, you know, they got the Tupac. They walked Tupac through the door. Tupac had let the higher-ups and the elites know that he was down with the get down, that he was ready to do it, that he was ready to go, that he was ready to go to one of those parties. He was ready. And then he turns around and does a video like Smile. It's a smack in the face. You have to be eliminated and assassinated after you commit that atrocity. Now, I got this last receipt right here. R.I.P. to Tupac, but we got to use your losses for our gain. We got to use your losses to learn from. Tupac went through the door. You know what? I got the receipts. It is what it is. Look. Look. They had him with his ass out. Tupac was with his, he was assed out. Look. So, you know what I'm saying? You either went from Smile for me to taking these goddamn pictures, or you already took these pictures and then you went and did that video Smile. Either way, you do not get to play both sides of the fence with this. And that's what I learned from these leaders, these, you know, prolific men that has so much influence over the urban community. Young Nipsey Hussle, Tupac Shakur, Young Dolph, all tried to play both sides of the fence, and they all ended up with the same bullet holes. It is what it is, and it'll be what it's gonna be. No coincidence. Now, back in the day when the Smile video was out, we knew nothing about these photos. These were the photos that they had Tupac in the chokehold. Hey, man. Hey, Pac. Dumb it down a little bit. You going a little bit overboard. We'll release these photos with your butt ass naked in that tub with your nuts and your ass out. Who took these photos? Why they got you in that little ass? You know what I'm saying? You ain't even in the jacuzzi, nigga. You in a little tight ass bathtub with your ass out. We'll release these photos, Tupac. I'm sure Tupac got to the point he said, fuck it, do what you gotta do. And he got assassinated. But these photos was in the back pocket. This was the ace in the back pocket. Tupac, you went through the door. You been breaking, you folded for the higher ups and the elites. And guess what? We got the evidence. It's a war going on outside that no man is safe from. You can run, but you can't hide forever. You cannot hide forever, my G's. And what I need you to understand is there is no straddling the fence. Choose your poison, choose a side, and that's it. That's it, my G. Choose a side. Evil, good. Choose a side. We are not living in a day and age where you're going to be able to be a spook by the door. There are no spook by the doors. That's why I give you this game. I give you this pure dope straight off the brick into the bottles, and I don't sugarcoat it. You're not going to see me doing one thing and then doing the other. It is what it is, and it'll be what it's going to be. You don't get to play both sides of the fence. R.I.P. to Young Dolph. R.I.P. to Nipsey Hussle. R.I.P. to Tupac Shakur. You know, it's a spiritual warfare. It's spiritual warfare. And being as though I'm, I guess, woke, being as though as I can, the downloads are downloading, it's very intense. Very intense. All right. So that is what it is, man. That's my synopsis for everybody in the DM asking me about Hernandez. You understand? Dolph is not who we thought he was to a certain extent. Dolph had sold his soul. Tupac Shakur had sold his soul. Nipsey Hussle was on the verge of selling his soul. He was on the verge. In my eyes. In some eyes, and you know, in some angles, I can say Tupac had, you know, Nipsey Hussle had already sold his soul by pushing gang culture, by being a business owner, being a family man, you know, being a successful man that made it out of the ghetto and still pushing 6-0 politics. I can say that he sold his soul. Understanding what's going on at the top and still talking about 6-0 and rolling 60 and own Crip and Cuz and neighborhood. You know, Biggie, we already talked about that. Biggie sold his soul in his first album when he talked about sucking dick. When Biggie told us he'd rather sleep with RuPaul than sleep with those escape bitches, he sold his soul. When Biggie had all those transmissions in his videos, the Warning video had transmissions in it. The Juicy video had a damn transmission in it. Biggie was gone a long time ago. Biggie had sold his soul way before Tupac. That's why Tupac was so dangerous. Tupac was so dangerous because it took him some time to walk through that door. It took him some time to take these photos. But Biggie been talking about sucking dick since Ready to Die. Biggie was talking about eating dick and Ready to Die. Biggie was talking about his home. Don't you know my homie gotta fucking kidnap kids? Fuck them in their ass, throw them over the bridge. He was talking about all of that. That's why I didn't even bring Biggie up in this conversation. Biggie was no leader. Biggie was a hell of a rapper, but he was no leader of man. Biggie was not a leader of man. Biggie was talking about eating cock in his rhymes and all that. She was so, she looked so good, huh? I suck on her daddy dick. That's how Biggie was talking to the people. She looked so good, huh? I suck on her daddy dick. I never felt that way in my life. It didn't take long before I made her my wife. Got no rings and shit, just my main squeeze. Yeah, you was gonna eat a daddy dick. You sold out a long time ago. She looks so good, I suck on her daddy dick. That's what Biggie was telling the people. Biggie was never a leader of man. Tupac Shakur, Nipsey Hussle, Young Dolph, those were leaders of man. With that being said, you already know what time it is, man. It's your boy, Grown Man Business TV. Feel what I'm saying? Oh, before, I saw that in the chat. Big salute to my barber. You know what I'm saying? It's only right. It's only right that we clean up for the people. So, you got to know something, man. It's nothing wrong with going a month or two without a haircut. I want all you men out there to understand. Get ugly sometime. Wolfman, let that shit go crazy. And then clean up real nice on them. You feel me? Hey, JP, we going live tomorrow, man. We going live early tomorrow. We gonna go live twice tomorrow. I'm gonna let the downloads download tonight. I got some routes to run. I got some money to make. And then we gonna go live tomorrow for sure. So just, you tuned in already. Be on the lookout for that. We going live tomorrow, man. We 46,000 subscribers in. We making this thing do what it do. We ain't playing no games. We having our way with this. And I'm not playing with this. Listen, it is what it is and it'll be what it's gonna be. All right? So you already know what. Yeah. I had to say that, man. A lot of people, I appreciate the love with the, and all that, but I like to go 2-3 weeks without a haircut. I like to get ugly sometime. You know what I'm saying? We grinding. You know what I mean? And then we clean up real nice. Clean up real nice for the people. I ain't like these other YouTubers. I ain't like these other bloggers. They not like me. Is what it is, and it'll be what it's gonna be. All right? So you already know what time it is, man. It's your boy, Grown Man Business TV. Now listen, man. You can tap in, you can tap out, but you know my slogan. You know what I suggest. And I suggest that you tap in. Listen, man. I suggest you tap into this Grown Man Business. I suggest you tap into this Grown Man content at all times. You already know what it is. Straight off the brick into the bottles. Straight off the brick into the bottles. Straight raw, pure, uncut, no extras, no preservatives. We not sugarcoat nothing. We not dressing nothing up. I'm only here to give you this game. Pure dope. Straight raw. No quinine, no baking soda, no fentanyl. We not water whipping this dope. We not counter whipping this dope. We not even putting it in the Pyrex. I'm giving you this game straight off the bricks into the bottles. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Hernandez, Govan, free man. Free man on borrowed time. Yeah, they let you free. They let you free, homie, but they let you free for a reason. So, the look is all over your face. You can't hide the look that's on your face. They want you out of here. They want to send you to the upper room and count your days. And remember, you heard it here first. Nobody connected the dots like Grown Man Business TV. Hernandez was set free for a reason. You're not going to live happily ever after. You're not. All right? That's how I feel about that. R.I.P. to Young Dolph. R.I.P. to Tupac, R.I.P. to Nipsey Hussle. We carved out a lane for the real, and we are the only ones in it. Big salute to my subscribers. Big salute to the chat. Big salute to my wrenches all in the chat. I see my big wrenches. I see y'all, Miss Lovelace, everybody in here. I see y'all. We going live tomorrow. Keep your ears open, man. Keep your ears open and make sure your notification bells are ringing loud and clear. And I'm going to leave y'all with this. I don't go back and forth with YouTubers, man. I drop a 50 or 40 ball on you, I'm out of there. All right? Understand that this channel is not anything to be played with. This is not one of them channels you just gonna come over here and play with. You can't just play. This channel is established. We carved out a lane for the real, and we the only one in it. So before you get to talking to me, get your bean pies, get your kufi, and get your goddamn Muslim garment. Don't you talk to me without it. Yeah, it is what it is, and it'll be what it's gonna be. So listen, big salute to the chat. All my subscribers, make sure you are locked into the realest. All right? So you already know what time it is, man. It's your boy, Grown Man Business TV. You feel what I'm saying? You can tap in, you can tap out. Oh, and I want to say this. I'm going to be in the city for the Cousins Festival. I'm going to be in 757 in a couple of weeks. You know, don't ever get it confused that the 757 ain't what it is. Yeah, I'm a real prime time representative of the 757. And I speak like this because it is what it is. Yeah, you gonna respect that big VA shit. You gonna respect the 7 cities. Shark infested waters, man. Tidewater Drive is shark infested waters. I wanted to put that out there. Big salute to the chat. You already know what time it is, man. It's your boy, Grown Man Business TV. You feel what I'm saying? You can tap in, you can tap out. But you know my slogan. You know what I suggest. And I suggest you tap in.